chat right now. We've got
different. So there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of noise.
Why is everybody in slow motion?
Without further ado, let's bring on Chris. Without further ado, let's bring on Lori. All right. And you tell me when you're ready. Good afternoon, everybody.
Happy Friday, everybody.
And it's warm again. It's
I know.
20 degrees here in
20
lovely
degrees.
Waterloo, Ontario. Yeah. And hopefully you guys are at least very close to harvest if you haven't harvested yet, because there's frost on the ground this week already. So
it is Croptober, so that time of the year now. But yeah, after this weekend, I think we're bound for some cold.
Yeah, we're not quite southern enough that we can stretch October and November for harvest. But hopefully you guys are, because I'd love to be a bit more so.
And some folks in the other, like the prairies and the provinces in Canada, they're like much higher above where we are. It gets much colder there much sooner. In fact, they can only put their plants outside sometimes in June, so they have to wait all the way to June. That's when it's warm enough, and then they probably have to be harvesting by September, I'd say, because October is
just grow indoors, folks.
I know.
It's better.
Just grow indoors.
It's better stuff, in my opinion, at least.
Or grow both if you can. Growing outdoors has its unique set of, skills that you have to use and things that you have to do that are very pleasant and that you can't really get indoors, like growing a giant plant. That's like, well, what was it, 8 foot by 6 foot? Our friend, comes back.
Smoke in the
water. In the water, yeah, I think so. That's right. And that's the type of stuff you can achieve outdoors. If you were growing in this room here and the actual lights were just in the ceiling, we could technically grow a massive plant in here, but it would not be in a tent.
Well, remember when we wanted to do like the largest outdoor plant, and then we remembered, California is going to crush us no matter what we do here.
That's right.
In KW. Yeah. You were going to start it and veg it all the way into a 4x4 and then try to transplant that outside.
That's right.
But yeah,
we thought about it.
We don't have the climate for that.
No, so we would have to use some artificial lighting. If we use artificial lighting on top of, having them there, that could
maybe
work.
We'll ask Mike to do it next year, because he's got that full greenhouse. Just do one big plant.
Big plant.
There you go. That's your challenge for next summer.
Yeah, we'll come up and we'll help you set up a real nice structure there and like automatic feeding. And I think you can do that in a 25-gallon, no problem. Like especially with a plant.
Cocoa.
If a plant could cover that entire greenhouse that Mike has, one plant in a 25-gallon would probably have to be watered like every day with multiple gallons of water. And like he would just, it would be kind of like us growing a 3-gallon inside of a 3x3 here. He just drinks the whole thing every day.
Yeah, or like the GGC cups where you have to feed it maybe even multiple times
every hour, pretty much.
Yeah. So welcome to Growin Buds, guys. It's a weekly show if you're new here. And the first half, we check in with our plants. We go back and forth about whatever we want to chat about, give some updates on what's going on in the BudTrainer world, such as the GGC coming to an end this month.
We also say a bunch of bullshit. Don't believe anything that we say here. So at your own discretion.
H is an engineer and went to school for commercial cannabis production, so he knows what he's talking about. I, on the other hand, have been known to say things that
don't listen to him.
Sometimes I say it in my head and it comes out of my mouth, and they're two different things. I don't know how that happens, but it does. Right?
I feel like that's been happening to me more and more as I just get into my 30s a little bit more. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's just the brain thinking about the next step and then it forgets the current step and then it just mumbo jumbles in their own way.
I've been known to mix up pistols and tricones when I'm talking.
Right. So. Or pistols, like the pistols stuff with pistols.
Not usually that. I've never messed up that. So the first half is all that. And the second half, we invite people to come onto the show off their grows, just to flex if they're doing really well. Or you can ask H some questions and I can compliment you if things are going well, or tell you about a similar experience I had if they're not doing well, because I've messed them up a lot. Florida Man Jack says trichromes.
Trichromes,
baby.
There we go.
Yeah.
And also, we'll take the opportunity to talk a little bit about the Global Grow Cup in this first half, because it is the last 2 weeks of Global Grow Cup. If someone hasn't yet made their last submission, this is the time to harvest that plant. And before you harvest that plant, make your submission, take all the measurements, do all the video requirements that we have, so that you get that in before October 31st at midnight. We will be sending, we'll be reminding you guys over the next couple of weeks, but we'll be sending an email as well, just reminding everybody to get those entries in. Even if your plant is not quite super ready for harvest, it could be harvested in another week or two, and December or October 31st comes, that is really the last day that you're going to have to harvest that plant. That's why it was very important to plant ahead of time, so that you're not flowering your plant way too late and then not getting it to the finishing stage, right? We're requiring 20% plus of or 20% or less white pistils, so 80% plus brown pistils, to show us that your plant really did get to the final maturing stages, right? So with that said, get those entries in, and let's have a look at my Global Grow Cup plant.
Oh yeah.
How long has it been dry for now? So when we
It would have
waited
been,
last time,
it's 9 days.
it was
now.
48 hours, right? Last time.
9
So
days. Yeah.
when we waited, it was 1.6 pounds. Then 2 days later,
It was a half a pound.
it was half a pound.
A little bit more than half a pound. Because I made that joke and it came in. It came in at 10 ounces.
10 ounces. 10 ounces exactly, which is a
More
little
than
bit more.
half.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So that means from 1.6 ounces, that's going to be what in ounces in total. That's probably 16 plus
1.6?
Yeah,
So
plus
24.
10,
say
20.
1.5.
Yeah. So from 26 to 10. So that's how much it decreased, right?
With the
So,
trellis net also coming off.
right.
So
the trellis has probably 1 ounce, maybe
I-
2 ounces.
we
Maybe
can
2
weigh
ounces.
it.
Yeah,
just
that's
use
true.
your weight thing.
Oh,
to do
it's attached already. But
Barb actually
okay.
asked where you got that, by the way. Do you remember where you got the weigh?
the weighing thing. Oh, this is a fish scale.
It's a
You
fish
can
scale.
find a fish scale. You just type it on Amazon. There's tons of them. It's just a fish scale. It's just like that. That's what they're used for. They're great. And they have multiple units and stuff like that as well. You can tear something if you have more weight. But anyways, what we weighted last time was 10 ounces. That's how much this was weighing after 48 hours of drying. Okay, now it's dried for another 7 days. This is day 9. Particularly last night, the temperature got really cold outside. The furnace kicked in, and when I woke up, even though the tents are in here putting out a lot of humidity, the humidity inside of the room was like 45. So it got really dry, more dry than I would recommend. However, let's have a look here, Kurt. What are we getting in ounces?
While we
And
figure
then-
this out, guys, I've got the link on screen so you can join and come into the background, but you probably won't be on the show for another 20 minutes or so.
Okay, well, this is the final answer right there. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we want you to just tell us, what do you think is the final weight? Now, this plant is going to still lose a tiny little bit of weight because it's still dry. It's still a little bit tough.
Sticky.
Yeah, I know. Just touching you there. This plant is going to lose a tiny little bit of weight still because it's not fully dry. However, it's very close to its final weight. So just like we did last week, guys, the person who guesses this the closest is going to get, what do we throw?
We did 20 pack of black bud.
20 pack of
clips.
bud. Yeah. That's what we're going to do again. A 20 pack of black bud clips for whoever guesses the weight of this plant in ounces. Okay, so
On Facebook or YouTube only. So if you're on Instagram, jump over to YouTube or Facebook.
that's right. Yeah. So please, based on the comments, guys, how many ounces, and you can do an eighth as well. Add however many point whatever.
Yeah, whoever's closest is going to win it. So if there's 2 people at 7 and one person at
that's right.
7.1 and it's 7.2, the 7.1 is going to.
That's right. Exactly. So be
You have
sure.
to have at least 1 decimal place because it's getting so low now that we'll have a lot of similar answers.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you
the
didn't
more
put a
accurate-
decimal, put a decimal in there, and we'll let you go on.
the more accurate you are, the better the chances. So
Yeah.
let's have a look at it again here. Make sure that we
Give
got the
some-
same weight
Yeah.
second time around.
We're gonna say it's not closest without going over. It's gonna be closest, but if
Well-
there's a tie of being 0.1 below and 0.1 above, we'll say the under is gonna win the tie break.
Well, let's put it this way. This here goes to 2 decimal places, but the second decimal place is either a 0 or a 5. Okay, so it's 1 5 2 0 2 5. That's how the decimal places work. So give us 2 decimal places. Okay.
We're changing the rules again.
Yeah, no, because this is going to be a close game. Last time they know it was 10 ounces. Now they know it's somewhere below 10 ounces. Okay, and this started off. Okay, when we harvested it, let's say 24 ounces to take 2 ounces away for the triloside. So 24 to 40 to 10 ounces just 2 days later. Now 9 days later, what are we at? It's going to be something.
I hope you guys
10
got
ounces.
all that. I hope you got all that.
I hope we got all that. Don't say 11 ounces because then you're definitely not paying attention.
Dustin put 11.1. We love you, Dustin. Thank you.
Dustin.
Yeah, we got some guesses coming in all over the place here.
All right, guys. So remember, 10 ounces last week. What are we at this week?
Boom, boom.
And we got a couple of friends in the back here already, guys. If you want to come in and show us your plants today, please follow that link that Kurt shared on the screen over there. And I think you posted in the comments.
I will do it in the comments in a bit, but
yeah, just copy those letters in the screen there, and you'll be able to join us. And then what we try to do is get to 5 max on one session. Otherwise, we'll be here till tonight. But
yeah. Well, we got enough guesses in here. Let's
get this going.
You have 30 seconds left.
30
to
seconds.
Put in a guess. Right. Okay, so 30 seconds. Then we're gonna go check out my flower room because I took another video of my flower room.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 5 weeks into flower now, so we've got lots of buds forming.
Yeah.
The clones are doing well. The from seeds are doing even better. My biggest struggle right now is keeping the temperature down because it's been such a warm fall.
Right. Yes.
My temps are getting up to like 27, 28 at the peak. And I think that's probably what contributed to being, to foxtailing and larvier buds too, right?
Yeah, no, that does. So sometimes when you have these high temperatures, you can always go higher on the humidity and then it kind of like compensates. So I've grown plants that I couldn't get it below 27 degrees, but I put my humidity up to 60, 65% because at that point, your VPD is still high.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you go too high on the temperature, low on the humidity, then your VPD is far too high and that harms the plant. So actually the optimal stage or the optimal temperature for cannabis to operate in is about 30 degrees Celsius and 80% humidity, which is insane because if you make any mistake there, your plants are going to suffer from that very, very quickly, right? So
that was a long 30 seconds.
Oh, that was a long 30 seconds. Let's do it. Man, give me a chance to talk. I'll talk. Okay. All right, guys. Are we ready?
Final guesses are in. Doesn't matter if you're ready or not. I'm going to read off the official weight. We're going to go by my view. And
it gets locked in there. And
it's a 7.05.
There it is. Oh, there it is, guys. 7.05 ounces. Kurt pretty much gave it away to you guys at the very beginning when he gave the example of 7 ounces. But I guess nobody paid attention. You were like, well, if it's 7 or 7.1, we're gonna go. Yeah. So Kurt pretty much gave you
my favorite number is 7, so that was completely subconscious that I did that. We have a 7.4 from Dustin.
7.4. That is close.
We have a 6.9.
Oh, 6.9. That is closer. That's 0.15 away. Okay, 0.15 away is the best.
We got a 6.5 ounces.
No.
So that's too high.
We need either. Oh no, that's too high still. No, we're at.
Yeah, that's true.
We're at 7.05, right? So
yeah,
we need either a 7.1.
I think Barb's our winner here.
I think Barb's our winner today.
Keep going up. I got a 7.2.
Oh, 7.2 is actually the same because 7.2 and
it's dead
6.0. They are dead center.
I
so
did
you guys
say
are
the
both
tie
winners.
break would be under though. So
the tie break would be under. Okay, so Barb would win because Mad Dog went over. Okay.
And Mad Dog changed his guess. Oh, he said 7-1 and then 7-2.
Oh man!
But I also saw him throw out like 3 numbers
5-5.
over
Okay, 10-5. Okay, so
Barb, you're gonna be our winner. Barb's gonna be our winner because she's first of all won the competition by the rules stated, and she's been such a nice guest on this show.
Of course,
coming
yes.
on. So congrats to Barb. Nice try, Mad Dog. And it's another double giveaway.
Maybe Mad Dog next time when he makes his first guess, he's just going to be like, I trust myself.
All right, guys. I think it's time to go check out my flower room, and you guys can let me know how I'm doing, and we'll go from there. So,
hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kurt's Grow Room. Look at this. We have liftoff. We've got flowers absolutely putting on weight. I did a defull on the last update. I've been slowly picking away at more and more fan leaves. I have my drippers in here on the 4 plants that are from seed. I've been hand watering the clones. Clones are doing really well, a lot better looking now than I thought they looked in the veg stage. So thank you to everybody who told me to keep them going. It is pretty packed down here. The light is now at 100% and it's raised up as far as I'm going to have it for the rest of flower here. So at this point now, it's just about feeding them. This reservoir holds about 40 liters and I have to refill it every 2 days. Every 2 freaking days, because these things are drinking a lot. So pretty happy with how the buds are forming. This front white widow here, definitely doing the best. I think it was a little bit more mature when we went to flower. The rest of them were a little bit behind. I tried to get them up to the height of this white widow with some extra risers, but still didn't quite reach that trellis level as much as this other one did. This blueberry is doing pretty good. This is the smallest out of the 4 from seed. It was just a little bit later to germinate, so it's playing catch up. It's only got 1 of the drippers, so I'm getting some hand watering going in there. It is looking actually like it's praying the most out of all the plants down here, so that's always a good sign when you see that. But all in all, just trying to make sure the buds are supported right now. I had to add some bud huggers to the side of the trellis frame here to hold up some of these side branches. It's interesting the way this stalk structure formed, classic BudTrainer method, but just never really grew upwards as much as I was hoping it to. It grew more so sideways. So as you'll see, there's not as many colas popping up here as you would typically see, because they're all kind of sprayed out around the edges here. So yeah, it's going well. I'm excited for the next 3-4 weeks, because that's when most of these will be coming down. So it's going to be a stinky room, especially when it comes to drying. It's already radiating outside my garage, so sorry to my neighbors who aren't into it, and you're welcome to the neighbors who are into it. So one last peek underneath the canopy, and I'll send it back to the bud studio.
What do you think?
Looking good. Yeah, they're filling the entire space there. There's not much else, not anywhere else for them to escape into. So yeah,
I love that I took your frame with the wheels on it so that I could have some mobility, and then I just put too many plants in the.
Then you lost the mobility.
So, I'm not the brightest, but I got more weed than I would have had doing that way.
So. No, next time I think what you can do is with your frame. Yeah, after the start, but I mean, when you grow plants like that, especially if you want to grow one big plant, like lowering that net down, and then you can actually let the plant grow like almost 6 inches out of the thing, so then you can still move it around. You still kind of cover almost all of that space, but if you can move it like a little bit over, so you can have that space to go on the side and then come out and then move it a little bit over, you can go default that side. That's all that you really need over there, right?
Yeah, I think it should be pretty easy, because you can just cut those legs at the same height and then take a chunk out and put a bracket on them, and we're off. It would be nice to have something that actually extends, like kind of like the lights where they have the twist off.
Right. And then you can just extend it.
Yeah, depending on how the plant's growing. We're losing some people in our background, so maybe you guys got to go, but stick around with us, because we will get you on pretty soon if we can. Kelsey was back there and she's gone now. Kelsey's been posting a lot about us on Instagram, so
for sure.
We really appreciate everybody who uses our products and posts about them and tags us, because it's a way to help us out as well, if you're enjoying what we're offering to you guys. So
that's right. And if you guys are growing or planning on growing, starting a new seed soon or clone, we will be starting a new seed here on the show next Friday. And we're going to be growing along with you guys every Friday, giving an update on the plant. There's going to be a point where we're going to start it on the seedling dome from AC Infinity. Then we're going to put it into the 2x2 tent. And then we're going to transfer it into the 3x3 tent after the veg stage is done and flower it. At that point, we're going to have the trellis net down. Then we're going to start showing you guys the plant inside of the tent every episode. But the idea is for everybody to grow along and use this BudTrainer method that we've created, where you just really top your plant above the 5th node, remove that first node so you have 8 branches growing out. You train those branches off to the sides, flip it to flower, and now you get a very nice bushy crown full of colas. That's really what we want to try and replicate here. So if you guys are starting your seed soon, let's do it together starting next Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess speaking of that, we can go check in on your plant's age. So, yeah, let's go up there and. Well,
perfect.
I don't think it's gonna work, but anyways.
Here we go with the 2x2 tent that we were growing the Global Grow Cup plant in. It's empty right now, and this is where we're going to. Oh, never mind, it's not empty. Look, Kurt, there's your specimen there from the Global Grow Cup.
Yeah, actually, we didn't actually get a final weight on your plant,
I know.
and you started taking buds off.
No, I only took a couple of tiny little ones, but the thing is, it's still wet. Like, so if we take the weight now, it's going to be a little bit heavier than it should. It still needs more drying. However, my furnace just kicked in because it got cold, and now the humidity in here is super low. So it's actually drying a little bit faster than I wanted. Next week, we'll be able to get a weight. However, maybe we should just do a weight check today and get everyone's opinion after this. Yeah. So this is Kurt's old plant. It's drying here. Look at what happened to these roots here on the sides. It's just looks like styrofoam almost. That's how many roots just cover these sides. And then the bottom there was always well drained, which is nice. We have to clean this cup up, Kurt, and see how new we can make it.
Yeah.
So this is what we're gonna grow the seed that we're starting next week, guys. We're gonna start it in our dome over here, where there's already 2 seeds that Kurt is going to be cloning. These are gonna be mother plants here, so we're gonna start another seed there. If you're growing your plant, just wait till next Friday and let's do a grow along. Let's grow together using the BudTrainer method. We're going to then place this plant here during the veg stage, going to grow it until it occupies pretty much this 2x2 space, and then we're going to put it into the 3x3 tent, which is the last tent we're going to have a look at today. So it's going to be a 3-station process here, from the seedling dome to the 2x2 veg stage to the 3x3 flowering stage. Now, what we have here is our 2x4. This plant has already been flowering for about 2 weeks now, so we got another week and a half of stretch, and I have been just tucking it under as much as I can. I actually had to untuck some branches because they were too close to the banner over there. I can actually retuck this one back here. That's a bit better. And these ones over here are already almost too long. So what I'm going to do is, as they stretch now, because I've already covered the entire 2x4 space, I'm just going to raise the net until they stop. And then the net's going to stop there, going to support those buds as best as possible. And we're going to come and clean up a little bit underneath the net for those branches and those shoots that didn't come through.
Would it maybe be easier to do a second trellis above? I've seen that done. Mike does that too.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and that works as well. The only thing is, these buds here that are bigger already, and I don't have anywhere to tuck them anymore, Kurt, we want to give them this 3x3 spacing that all of them are going to have. If we put another net here, we could accomplish that as well, but then it's going to be hard to clean in between them. And those buds between the 2 nets, it's kind of like a medium, quality bud. And then below the lower net, it's worse. So it's actually easier, because these are easy to slide here on the sides. We can just lift them up as it goes a couple of inches. And then as long as the low buds are being supported, we're good to go. We do a little cleanup, and then just let her sit for another 6 weeks until she's ready.
And the prettiest of all the plants.
And this is, yes, this one here, I did a defold after last week. So what you guys can see here is some buds getting really, really thick. This is week 5 now, or sorry, week 6 of the flowering stage. We've got another, let's see, 3 to 4 weeks to go here on this purple punch. And as you can see, it's clean at the bottom. When you look at it from the top, we still have leaves covering, the entire space, so that we're using that square footage as best as possible, but not going too deep either, where we're getting popcorn bud. Now, I think that even these smaller buds, lower buds here, they're going to turn out to be very dense and packed with trichome. So I'm very much looking forward to what's going to come out of this plant here.
Alrighty. Let's get back to the live.
Let's get back to the live.
All right, guys, welcome back. What did you think of H's plants, guys? How's that doing? I think they're doing pretty good myself. You
Yeah.
happy with them so far?
I like growing 1 plant per tent. I used to grow 4 plants in that 3x3 and 2 plants in the 2x4. 2 plants in the 2x4 is more okay because it's like growing 1 in the 2x2. But even then, it gets really tight. Last time that we grew that Blue Dream, it grew like super long branches. We had to defoliate a lot. So it meant we lost a lot of just growth over there that didn't go anywhere. And then had these massive stalks. Then the buds started. They were big too and they were super heavy. And then they flopped. The moment we took the 1 plant beside it, then they really flopped over because the plant beside it was supporting it. And the plant beside it didn't get as much light exposure airflow. I had to raise it like yours, and it still ended up a bit dwarfed. That's the one we extracted that live hash from. And doing 1 plant, I don't know, there's something that's more pleasurable about training your branches. All it takes is an extra week in veg, and you can fill an entire 2x4 or a 3x3 versus giving them 1 week less. Now we have twice as many plants or 4 times as many plants, more irrigation lines, more soil, more transplanting, more work. I feel like for home growing, like for commercial growing, of course, it makes sense to have a lot of plants because that's how you do it in small volumes and so on. But when you're training your plants, when you're growing at home, I feel like adding that extra week, it's not like it's going to make a difference at the end of the year,
Yeah.
and you can fill up an entire tent like that.
Yeah, as long as you're cool with just the 1 strain, or you got multiple tents, then you can get 2 or 3 still.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. Like when you try to grow multiple strains in 1 tent, feeding them the same thing, most times you're going to have 1 strain that really likes that regimen and the other 1 strain that really doesn't. You know what I mean? So unless you get lucky, and they all do. But typically, I try to grow 1 strain because then you're feeding it 1 thing. If there's 1 problem, the problem is kind of consistent. It's not like, oh, that 1 plant has a problem, but now how are you going to change the irrigation on that plant and so on, right?
Yeah, we can call
Go ahead
it
here.
Texas style because everything's bigger in Texas. With
That's
big
right.
plants and
All right. Hello from Indiana.
Hello from Indiana is great. Big. We got a big countdown now in the States, right?
That's right.
The election's coming up early next month, so big things happening south of the border, and it's always funny to hear legalization get thrown around at this time,
I know.
especially by the
I know.
party that's in power.
Yeah.
You'd think that they might have done it if they were going to do it, but who knows? So
Yeah.
hopefully we get that someday, guys, because I want to cross the border with my own weed. I love my own weed so much.
That would
I
be
just
so
want to
cool.
bring my own
Yeah.
personal stuff wherever I go. So
It'd be cool if they didn't even ask. It's like, oh, we got weed, no problem.
yeah, be like alcohol. You can bring up to an ounce maybe
Right.
with you or something like
That's
that, right? So you can bring the 1 bottle across. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we I think we can bring on Mike
Yeah.
if he's ready. So if I see some movement from Mike, it looks like he's mixing up some sort of protein powder or something like
For his
that.
muscles, for his big muscles.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Actually, I guess we could speak about the SOG real quick. So I've started the mother plants. They haven't broken ground yet. We're going to veg that for 6 weeks and get some clones taken right before MJ BizCon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let them root while we're there.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Cool. Mike, are you good? Can I get like a thumbs up? I saw some. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. All right, Mike, how's it going?
It's going. I'm just
What are you-
mixing up nutrients.
Okay. It's fancy looking nutrients you got going there. Nice and green.
Yeah, water soluble. It's Floraflex. Imagine that. It's green.
Oh, right on.
But
They're
yeah,
like us with yellow. They love their color.
Yep. And that's how I mix it. I started with this. I just got maybe 900 mils in here, and I do my A, my B, or 1 and 2, and the bulky stuff, and then I go back into the tent with it. But I'll leave that go.
Is that a magnetic mixer?
Yep.
Man, that's awesome.
You get it on Amazon really cheap, right? And it definitely, you know what? I don't know why I shut it off. I wanted to leave it running. So you started off slow, and then it just, you're going to get that water soluble stuff done.
That is neat. Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know how that works, there's a little magnet in there, and the magnet gets magnetized by the bottom, so it just starts spinning inside of the bottle, and then it spins the whole liquid. So you can just pick up the bottle and take it off. There's no like latching or anything like that. It's just a flat plate put the bottle in, and it's used in chemical labs a lot. But great idea there, Mike. I actually might have to copy you on that one. Although I do mix my newts like directly in the tank. I just go like suck it with a syringe because you're doing powder, right? So I think it's a bit different. But yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. So I have
What do we have here?
So I have a 700-watt light that I'm going to be running next run from Flex, and I'm not in there yet, right? So I was like, wait a minute, these light bars are really light, and they don't throw off a lot of heat. So I took 3 of them, and I threw them on the trellis net. And I don't know if you guys can see it well on the video, but it lights up a fair bit under the canopy.
Yeah, it looks like the Undertaker in WWE, like with his under chin lighting. It's cool.
Yeah. And
very scary.
I have it at 30%, and it's not even hot to the touch. A lot of people, I posted a picture of this on Instagram. They're like, "You're gonna burn your house down." I'm not gonna even get my finger warm, let alone burn my house down, right? And I went through awesome. and I went through and I like electrical taped all the other ends for the other bars, because there is other bars, right? Like it's a big bar light that'll cover this area, but man, oh man,
they got real tall.
It's ridiculous. Check this out. I'm using a different camera this time, so I don't know if it's.
Oh wow! Some of them didn't make it through.
Poking through.
Yeah.
Man.
That's
so
great.
your light can't go any further up there, like all the way to the tent. If you connect it directly to the metal frame, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe could. I maybe could. Oh, look at this BudTrainer.
Nice.
I maybe could, but I would have to get some sort of hook, because the I don't know if you can see it from under here. It's just a small little hole. That normally holds like a wire, and then there was no way I could use that, right? So
yeah,
I need to get in here and do some more bending with the old bud clips out here.
Yeah. No, man, that's like a sea of green for sure.
And man, this is tomorrow will be start of week 4, so it's so much more growth time. It's definitely slowing down on the height. So now I'm hoping that it's just going to start packing on the buds. So I'll be done with the issues there. But word of the wise, do not use 2-gallon pots, 12 of them in a. I mean, if you were on the floor or maybe 4 or 5 inches above the floor, it'd be okay, right? In a nice tall tent. But with mine, the setup and the drain, it's too much. So I know Kurt and I have been discussing, we were talking about you're putting in some clones before MJ BizCon. I'm thinking about starting 12, 14 and 15 of them from seed, and to be able to go through and have 12 from seed with these drippers with the bud cups. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and then that's going to be a cool comparison to show how clones would work versus from seed. I'm sure you'll have probably more variety in how they grow from seed, right? Like some will be much taller than the rest, and hopefully clones have maybe a bit more uniformity to them, but who knows what'll happen, right?
Yeah, and like with that many plants in there, you guys can pretty much like top it, and 2-3 days later after the topping, you flower right away. That's how they do it commercially. You know what I mean? 2 to 3 weeks in veg and then flower, and that all the time you have there. Or the only thing you can do there during 2 to 3 weeks is do one little topping, and that's it.
And that's to save the genetic, right? Because I'll pop it, I'll clone it, I'll put it in the cloner, and then I'll be able to have. I'm going to be doing reg seed, so there will be male possibilities. That's why another reason why I want to do some extras.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I can swap out a cup, do the same thing to every cup, and then swap it out if it ends up being a male. You know what I mean? So it may be a little bit dicey, but that was my plan for the next run, is to hunt some males. I got some pretty stable genetics. I have some Chileto GF3s, so I know that everyone talks about how those are pretty uniform. And another F3 that I got from another company. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they'll all be nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, no, that's a cool idea there. Like I've seen more and more intra-canopy sort of lighting, and I think it helps get those lower buds, a little bit stronger.
Yeah, there's a lot of lower ones in here. I was starting to take some out, and then I go, you know what? Let's try it. Now there is still some here that I got to take out because I had put the light here, on this rung, and it was too low. So then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it here, and you know what? It might help, it might not. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, like you said, because it's not hot. Because if it was hot, then you could foxtail them under there. But if it's not hot, then I think it can only be beneficial.
Yeah, 30%. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's not
Good
like it's
stuff.
not getting the nutrients. So
Exactly. Yeah. No, they're looking great, and I agree with you. They're not going to stretch anymore. They're just going to now thicken up, and yeah, they're going to look really good.
yeah. Oh, so
Yeah. Well, we'll have some data to go off of at least with this.
Did you already get your that massive one that you did in the single pot? Did you already extract that one?
I did. Would you like to go see that? We'll
Yeah.
go. Well, it's not much to see, and don't look at my basement because it's Kurt seen it earlier today, and I don't want to talk about it. So I've already done.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So that was. Where's the line here? It's right here.
Is that dry sift?
No, that's fresh frozen.
Okay,
then-
fresh frozen. Okay.
And then right into the freeze dryer. So that
Oh, nice.
that mark was 21 grams out of there that I pressed.
Okay.
So I went through and I go, well, okay. And then I got this jar as well from that 11 and a half.
Wow.
So I got quite a bit. As you can see, I still have quite a few stuff. But if I use a judgment of my finger, it's about one finger length. So I figure 20, that's 40, 60, 80, 100 grams, maybe.
Oh, I'd say there's more than that. Yeah, I think that you got a good like 5 ounces to 6 ounces on that big jar there.
Yeah, it's not quite full. Like it's just like whatever. But again, I'm super stoked for how much came out.
Oh my god, yeah,
Say the
no, it
least.
looks great. Yeah,
H's mouth is watering right now.
I know.
You
So
can't
did
see
you?
it.
How big were the filters that you used?
So I
Screens?
use, so this is my press setup here. It's a 10
nice.
ton, which is all like too much. But I use 25, so I use these, it's Canadian company. They don't seem to blow out very much. So this is the outer bag, 90 micron, and the inner bag would be 25.
Okay,
So yeah,
interesting. And like, so you just used 2 bags?
that's it. Yep.
That's for the pressing though.
Oh,
are you talking about
sorry.
the wash?
I'm talking about the wash. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so if we want to go with that, listen, again, you guys are getting a full tour. This is what magic happens here. I
Right
still
to the
haven't
bed.
unpacked from LA. Like, look at this. So I have 32-gallon bags,
Oh, 32-gallon. Wow, those are big.
all
Okay.
mesh.
Do you use like one of those big like blue?
He's got the bubble wash machine thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay, gotcha.
45 is
Yeah.
where I catch all of my full spectrum stuff. There's a 165 and a 220.
Okay.
Those
And then-
bags are nice. 'Cause the ones we use, like, you just can only go to the bottom, man.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is my previous setup. I had 2 of these. These are my buddies. I borrowed them. These are the 2 5-gallon ones, right? And I did 2 at a time, and I would put both of them, and I would do 3 runs in each one, and then that would fill my 32-gallon, garbage can that I use for collection.
Right on.
Then I decided, you know what, those are too small, and I got the Bubble Magic 20-gallon machine.
Oh, right on.
So it's a lot bigger, and I've been doing some mods to it because it has like lint catchers and stuff. So I've taken it all out. I've, whoa, my gimbal just died. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
I just, let me get rid of this because that was a pain. So what I did was I took these out, spray foamed them, super glued them, silicone them, and then I put a straight hose on it because it came with one of those like accordion type hoses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and again, there's a couple videos on how to do this on YouTube, and they're pretty much garbage because what they don't tell you, like you need spray foam because I did the test fit and it blew out and went water in behind, and the silicone's just not enough to hold it. So I'm in the process of editing the video for this and getting that up there if anybody's interested because they didn't really show all the stuff, and I felt like there needed to be a better video, so I made one.
Nice.
Right.
Fill in the gaps in knowledge. I like it, Mike.
Yeah, because I went like, wait a minute, like, so this is the machine, right? And that Bubble Magic. Got
Okay.
my local store or whatever, and it's for, I did 2 runs for that 11 pounds. I probably put about 5 pounds in there. Now, could I have gone a little bit less? Sure. And there's a bag in here that runs in the bag inside, a 220 bag inside, so it's not just in here. And I got it in those 2 runs. So that one would have took me, geez, man, 15 minutes times 3 runs times probably about 4 or 5. That would have took me all day, and this one took me, 45 times 2. So a lot of savings of time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with hash is the time that it takes. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes me lazy to do it every now and then. Oh man, like at least 30 minutes. I mean, if you're doing from start to finish, including the cleanup after, then if you're getting a few batches in, that's when it gets worth it because at least you get a few batches out of it. But just from start to finish, yeah, you're talking a good amount of time. And then ethanol, alcohol everywhere. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Beauty.
A little product placement.
Yeah. Awesome.
I told Kurt, I offered, I said, hey man, if you ever wants to come up here in the winter, a little 4 or 5 hour drive up north, come out and bring you guys stuff. We'll put it in here and we'll do some videos and we'll get it done one day.
We can shine that up with some Sea of Green content.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just bring it all up in the trunk and
yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
or just mail it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then drive.
Yeah. Well, because then it takes about 3 days, 2.5, 3 days to freeze dry, depending on how much you got in there. So it's not like it takes a good chunk, but once it comes out, it's amazing. I can't. It's so much better. So
yeah.
Very cool.
100%.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate you coming on again. And nice little tip with that magnetic mixer. So I'm sure they'll be getting a couple sales from your
recommendation.
your testimonial. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, Amazon, it's great. They're not that expensive, right? So
yeah, right on.
Look at that thing.
All right,
good
Mike. Stuff, Mike. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya. Cool. All right. Well, we got Fireman Sam up next. So once I see a little bit of a wiggle on your camera, perfect. Okay. Fireman Sam, welcome.
Hello.
What's going on, mate?
How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Had a bit of a week of it as I done a strip on the 8x4 and had to strip quite a fair amount.
Yeah, that's a lollipop if I've ever seen it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
But then the problem, we get a lot of humidity over here, so I've had to do this because of running a lot of water in the tent as well. Because of in here, it's a bit like the auto pot where you've got water sitting in the bottom all the time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And all the roots have come out the bag.
They have, right? Yeah.
Yeah, all the roots are now like down the bottom. Luckily, there's air all the time, so as you can see, it's bubbling away.
Yeah, I think it's hard for the roots not to come out of the pots in a case like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because it's so easy for them to grow with the fabric.
I looked for socks to like go around the bottom of the pot, sort of thing, but I couldn't find any that actually fitted this size pot. Because of the auto pot, they're like smaller pots than these.
Yeah.
So
how many plants do you have in there?
I got 10 in the 22 litres. And then we got a little 10 centimetre again. I decided to do a photo this time and topped it a few times.
Right on.
Which I need to give that a little strip and give it a good water. And then in the other tent, that's in full flower now.
Oh yeah, look at that. Beauty.
They're looking great.
Which is blood diamonds from what I've done before. So these are all clones from the blood diamonds. Which I only had a 2 week veg and literally flipped them. But
yeah, now that tent's looking great. How many plants in that one?
4.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then
These
we've
ones are
got,
pretty close to done.
I was about to say, literally, I'll be chopping this tomorrow, hopefully, because I'm waiting for the pot to dry out.
Gotcha. Do you normally remove all your fan leaves wet when you? Oh, we lost him.
We lost you there.
All right. Well, I was going to ask him if he removes his fan leaves like we do because.
Before doing the harvest, like to help with the defoliator.
Yeah, or even like right before you harvest too.
Right.
I think he's loading back in here.
Got you back there.
Sorry, fan leaf clicked the button.
You're blaming the fan leaf this week, eh? Because last time you said you hit the wrong button.
Yeah, it's when I was pulling my phone back out and it clicked on the fan leaf.
That's amazing. I was gonna ask if you do remove the fan leaves right before you chop, or if you leave them on while you dry.
No, I actually leave them on when I dry. I'll remove all these ones that are literally like dead and hanging off.
Right.
But I just left them on there just to see because of where it's a tester. And literally, I'll be running clones of this in the 8x4 next after this run to do some more testing with her under a different light spectrum. And then I'm going to test it then in possibly the 4x4 under the Evo 8 to see what light spectrum she goes like with that. Because every plant grows different under the different light spectrums.
And that one is what strain?
Pardon?
That strain, what is that strain?
This is the Hellraiser OG crossed with OG Kush, then crossed with Rainbow Bouts.
Okay.
Which is a British breeder called Conscious Genetics, which I do a lot of his testing. That's what the blood diamonds are in this tent. They're Conscious Genetics as well. Which he looks for plant. Yeah, he looks for plants that are basically really good for washing and hash making.
Yeah.
Which are really good in our climate as well, because over here it's quite humid because it rains a hell of a lot over here. Like at the moment it's raining and having to run the dehumidifier on max, and it's got it down now, back down to 54 RH. But yeah, because it was sitting when I come into the grow earlier at about 70 RH.
That's way too high, yeah. Especially during flower, you're like, oh shit.
Yes, I was. I was like, looked at the app on AT Infinity and then shot down here basically to see what was going on with the dehumidifier, and it was bloody full up again.
Oh, man.
So the constant drain's gone on now. So a constant drain into the sink now. Which luckily I've got a sink in the room as well.
Yeah, no, I got my dehumidifier straight into the drain as well, and it's set at the the humidity I want it, so it's perfect. I don't have to think about it. There's no emptying buckets or anything like that.
And then we've got our little veg tent that I need to vacuum out because of it's still from when I harvested the last harvest. I've just chucked them in here just to get them out the way for a minute, waiting for that other one to finish so I can put them all in the little tent then and take clones of that ready for the 8x4 and pot these up. And these are getting potted up tonight as well, possibly, because they're ready for the 4x4 possibly. If the seeds don't turn up in time, I'll be doing a clone run again.
Your hobby is a full-time job, my friend.
Yes, I was about to say, this is my full-time job. I love this hobby. It was the best hobby I ever started doing. But that is the under canopy light that I had from the last run that I done, which was the Mars Hydro SP150, which is only 135 watts, I think it is. Which this used to be out in, I was about to say, it used to be out in my greenhouse, because I used to use it to help with the artificial lighting because of in the winter here it gets really dull and horrible because of raining all the time. So what I do is supplement the light in my greenhouse.
Yeah, that definitely helps, especially on those cloudy days.
Yeah, I was about to say we get quite a lot of cloudy days over here.
Yeah, no, right on. Well, good stuff, Fireman Sam. Thanks for showing us your plants again. It's always great to see the progress. And it's cool how you have them at different stages as well. So there's always progress on all fronts.
Yeah, so later on it will be 1 month apart between the 4x4 and the 8x4, so then I can dry in the 4x4 then in between like each harvest. So then I've got like the drying tent each month had something drying.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us again, Farmanson. We'll look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks, and have a great weekend. It's
Thank
always
you
a
very much
pleasure.
for having me on.
All right.
Excellent.
Take it easy. All right. Well, you know what? Now that you reminded me of that earlier in the show, that big outdoor scrog, I hope his plant's doing well. Because, these times of year, something could go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen him here for a while. So,
That's right.
smoke in the water. If you are still watching and still coming in, please do come back and show us what's going on. It's very curious to see how that's going. And speaking of scrogs, we'll have another scrog school soon.
Yeah.
I think Troy's in the planning stage for that, so we're excited for that. It's always a good show to watch. I wonder what day he's going to do it on this time. I think he did Sundays last time, but sometimes he'll switch it up. So make sure you go follow our friend, the Northern Scrogger, on YouTube. November 7th, says Mike. So we'll get a November 7th Scrog School.
Perfect.
And I think it's
Time for our giveaway.
yeah, I would say so. We had one giveaway for Barb, who's going to be getting some free bud clips, some black bud clips. Barb, I think we might have your email and information, but if you can just email us at hello@budtrainer.com to remind us with your shipping address, we'll get that out to you. For this giveaway, we're going to be doing a $25 gift card, which is enough to order bud clips on our site if you want to do that. Or you could just let us know that you want the bud clips and we'll send that out to you. So we'll go with hashtag Growin Buds, no G
Buds.
on the end of Growin.
That's right.
Hashtag in front of it. And just like Barb's going to do, please email us hello@budtrainer.com if you end up being our winner. So type that into the chat for Facebook or YouTube, hashtag Growin Buds. Anthony won last week.
That's right. And that's $25 to our store, guys. That's what you get.
Anthony won last week, and he had a $15 gift card left over. He ended up gifting that to another grower who was in need. So thank you to him for spreading the love around, guys.
That's what's awesome about this community.
Yeah. We're actually a little bit early today.
Yeah.
So it's nice. We
What
went
time is
over
it?
an hour. We're at 55 minutes
55,
almost.
yeah.
So
There we go.
Kelsey was in our background and she left. So maybe we would have been maxed out if she stayed. I don't know where you went. But thanks for making all
Next
that content
time.
anyways. And maybe you just had to leave.
Sometimes people have to go. That's what it
It's
is.
Friday too. Maybe she wanted to start her weekend
I
off
know.
earlier. So that's maybe on us.
That is very understandable.
25 potential winners in the draw so far, guys. So get that
Let's
in
get to 30
quickly.
there.
What's your plans for the weekend, H?
I will finish the flooring that we're doing at my place in the main level. So it's almost done now. It's just a couple of little trim pieces that take forever. And then you're just like, oh my God. Kind of like that fatigue of construction after a while. So
Imagine doing it for a living.
could not. Yeah, it's I take my hat off to those who do it for a living because it's a struggle doing it as a homeowner itself, you know. So with that, it's the last warm weekend, so I'm gonna have to cut some stuff outside. That's why I'm just gonna get it all wrapped up, you know, and just chill. What about you?
Well, the Leafs play again tomorrow night. They've been doing pretty well, so it's our year again, just like every other year. Yeah, so I'll be watching some hockey Saturday. I'll probably try to get my yard work done this weekend and get the furniture away. So some boring stuff that way.
House chores. All right, we got the
Yeah.
30. We got 31. Let's run this, guys. Give you
Sorry,
one.
I have to eliminate Mike from the giveaway because he just said the Leafs suck. So let me figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Let's run the draw. Boom. Too late for those who are too slow. Next week, come
Next
back and
week.
win next week.
That's right. Come back and
Anthony
be a winner.
said to rerun it if he wins, but we
Here
got
we
Here We
grow.
Grow
Wicked.
Space Wicked. So congratulations.
I think it's a first-time winner here.
That is a new winner.
Yeah.
We have known to have repeat winners quite often, but this
Yeah.
is this is a new winner. So please do take a screenshot of your back end account, just showing that you're the owner of that YouTube account, and send that to hello@budtrainer.com. We'll get back to you probably by Monday and get you your gift card. Or if you know what products you want under the $25 mark, we'll send that out to you guys. So
That's right.
yeah, thanks for coming
Congrats.
again. 46 people here at the end here. So thank you guys who stuck through it all with us, and hopefully enjoyed the show. We're going to be back here next week to do it all over again.
That's right. And we're starting a seed next week. So if you guys want to start a seed and you want to do it together and you want to run through the same process we're doing so that we can compare plants at the end, well, then let's do it next week. Plan for taking your clone or planting your seed with us on Friday.
And that's further to that, doing the BudTrainer method.
That's right. We're doing the BudTrainer method.
We're going to be here every week doing a check-in with H's plant, and we want you guys to follow the exact same training method. So if you're starting 4 plants, only one of them would need to be the BudTrainer method.
Or all 4 of them.
Yeah, and we'll, if you're interested in it, we'd love to chat with you actually one-on-one outside of this afterwards to see what your experience is and really help us dial in the articles that we have available on BudTrainer.com.
The BudTrainer method. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. We'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend.